and look, maintain the balance and look along the left hand. Now change the side, bring the right leg to the initial position, then turn right 90 degrees to the left side, take the left hand and touch the bend, lift the right hand up and look along the right hand. Now change the side. This is the first round. 2 more rounds will do. Bend. Try to touch the right leg toes. Left hand up. And look along the left hand. Repeat same with the left leg. This is the second round. Same thing with the right leg. This is the final round. Change to the left side. Lift the left hand and bring the left leg to the original position. Then keep together and relax. Stretch the legs. Then the hands. Take a deep breath. We'll do the Savasana now. Now lie down. Completely relax the body. This asana is called Savasana, a dead man's posture. Like how a dead man is lying but not moving at all. The benefit of this asana is depending on how quiet we are able to keep our body. To that extent, mind will also be quiet. And once the quietening depends, then we don't have to depend on the body. Our mind can be quiet at any time. Keep both the legs 6 inches apart, the hands 6 inches away from the body, palms facing up. Slightly bend the toes forward, bring them back and relax. Shift. Now shift your attention to the thigh muscles. Relax the thigh muscles, relax and forget. Relax each and every part, the hands, relax, relax. Observe your heart, how it is working all the time without taking any rest. Relax the heart, just suggest. Relax, relax, and forget. Concentrate on the lungs, take a deep breath, breathe out, and relax. Have happy face, relax the facial muscles, and forget. Make the mind cheerful, have cheerful thoughts, let the mind be relaxed. The entire body is relaxed. Stay apart from the body. Think that you are going away from the body. Go up. Let the body stay here. Mentally you go up. And from there you see your body as an object. Just like how you are seeing a tree, a stone. The body is lying here, but you are not in the body anymore. That's why the body is not able to move. Just think this way. Make some distance between yourself and the body. And realize that you are not the body. You can stay without the body, but the body cannot stay without you. Now slowly come down and enter.
शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो ब्रह्मणे नमो अस्त्वग्नये नमः पृथिव्यै नमः ओषधीभ्यः नमो वाचे नमो वाचस्पतये नमो विष्णवे बृहते करोमि ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ यश्छन्दसा वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यवृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणम् जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवम् ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ तत्संयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजम् शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो वाचे याचोदिताया चानुदिता तस्यै वाचे नमो नमो वाचे नमो वाचस्पतये नमः ऋषिभ्यो मन्त्रकृद्भ्यो मन्त्रपतिभ्यो मामामृषयो मन्त्रकृतो मन्त्रपतयः परा दुर्माहमृषीन् मन्त्रकृतो मन्त्रपतीन् परादां वैश्वदेवी वाचमुद्यासगुं शिवामदस्तां जुष्टां देवेभ्यः शर्म मेद्यौ शर्म पृथिवी शर्म विश्वमिदं जगत् शर्म चन्द्रश्च सूर्यश्च शर्म ब्रह्म प्रजापति भूतं वदिष्ये भुवनं वदिष्ये तेजो वदिष्ये यशो वदिष्ये तपो वदिष्ये ब्रह्म वदिष्ये सत्यं वदिष्ये तस्मा अहमिदमुपस्तरणमुपस्तृणमुपस्तरणं मे प्रजायै पशूनां भूयादुपस्तरणमहं प्रजायै पशूनां भूयासं प्राणापानौ मृत्योर्मापातं प्राणापानौ मामाहासिष्टं मधुमनिष्ये मधुजनिष्ये मधुवक्ष्यामि मधुवदिष्यामि मधुमतीन् देवेभ्यो वाचमुद्यासगुं शुश्रूषेण्याम् मनुष्येभ्यस्तं मा देवा अवन्तु शोभायै पितरोऽनुमदन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ मधुवातारुतायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्न तमाविरावीर्मयेधि वेदस्य मणिस्तश्रुतं मेम प्रहासीरनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रा सन्धदामृतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवत्ववतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ इडादेवहुर्मनुर्यज्ञनिर्बृहस्पतिरुक्तामदानि शंसिषद्विश्वे देवासूक्तवाचः पृथिवीमातर्मामाहिषीर्मधुमनिष्ये मधुजनिष्ये मधुवक्ष्यामि मधुवदिष्यामि मधुमती देवेभ्यो वाचमुद्यासगं शुश्रूषेण्याम् मनुष्येभ्यस्तम्मा देवा अवन्तु शोभायै पितरोऽनुमदन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमस्ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं धर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं खल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षादात्मासि नित्यं ऋतं वच्मि सत्यं वच्मि अवत्वं माम् अववक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवधातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुचानमवशिष्यम् अवपश्चात्तात् अवपुरस्तात् अवोत्तरात् अवदक्षिणात् अवचोर्ध्वात् अवाधरात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात् त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः त्वमानन्दमयस्त्वं ब्रह्ममयः त्वं सच्चिदानन्दाद्वितीयोऽसि त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तो जायते सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तस्तिष्ठति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि लयमेष्यति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति त्वं भूमिरापो नलो निलो नभः त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः त्वम् अवस्थात्रयातीतः त्वं देहत्रयातीतः त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यं त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः त्वां योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यं त्वं ब्रह्मा त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वमिन्द्रस्त्वमग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवस्वरो गणादिं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादींस्तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वारः परतरः अर्धेन्दुलसितं तारेण रुद्धम् एतत्तव मनुस्वरूपम् गकारः पूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वारश्चान्त्यरूपम् बिन्दुरुत्तररूपम् नादः सन्धानम् सगुण्ठिता सन्धिः सैषा गणेश विद्या गणक ऋषिः निसृद्गायत्री छन्दः गणपतिर्देवता ॐ गणपतये नमः एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात् एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशमङ्कुशधारिणं रथं च वरदं हस्तैर्बिभ्राणं मूषकध्वजम् रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससं रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितम् भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवं जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृतेः पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रमथपतये नमस्तेऽस्तु लम्बोदरायैकदन्ताय विघ्ननाशिने शिवसुताय वरदमूर्तये नमः एतदथर्वशीर्षं योधीते स ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते स सर्वविघ्नैर्न बाध्यते स सर्वत्र सुखमेधते स पञ्चमहापापात् प्रमुच्यते सायमधीयानो दिवसकृतं पापं नाशयति प्रातरधीयानो रात्रिकृतं पापं नाशयति सायं प्रातः प्रयुञ्जानो पापो भवति सर्वत्राधीयानोपविघ्नो भवति धर्मार्थकाममोक्षं च विन्दति इदमथर्वशीर्षमशिष्याय न देयम् यो यदि मोहाद्दास्यति स पापीयान् भवति सहस्रावर्तनाद्यम्यं काममधीते तन्तमनेन साधयेत् अनेन गणपतिमभिषिञ्चति स वाग्मी भवति चतुर्थ्या मनश्चं जपति स विद्यावान् भवति इत्यथर्वणवाक्यम् ब्रह्माद्यावरणं विद्यान्न बिभेति कदाचनेति यो धूर्वाङ्कुरैर्यजति स वैश्रवणोपमो भवति यो राजयति स यशोवान् भवति स मेधावान् भवति यो मोदकसहस्रेण यजति स वाञ्छितफलमवाप्नोति यः साध्यसमिद्भिर्यजति स सर्वं लभते स सर्वं लभते अष्टौ ब्राह्मणान् सम्यग् ग्राहयित्वा सूर्यवर्चस्वी भवति सूर्यग्रहे महानद्यां प्रतिमासन्निधौ वा जप्त्वा सिद्धमन्त्रो भवति महाविघ्नात् प्रमुच्यते महादोषात् प्रमुच्यते महापापात् प्रमुच्यते महाप्रत्यवायात् प्रमुच्यते स सर्वविद्भवति स सर्वविद्भवति य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। हरि ओम। It is found that generally when people hear the word Vedanta, many of them have no idea what Vedanta is. Some of them have got little exposure to that. Some of them feel it is very dry, very, very subtle, difficult, such kind of thoughts are there. I always found Vedanta is most pleasing. It is very joyful. So a thought came to my mind that why not write something on this topic in the format of some Sanskrit shlokas, and to prove that Vedanta is very sweet. Swami Tulsidaji said, Ura Prerak Raghuvamsa Vibhushana. The great inspirer in your heart is Bhagavan. And only when that Bhagavan inspires such a thought and also takes it to completion, it is only his grace and Sri Guru's blessings. So here what we are going to study is Vedanta maduryam. Maduryam means sweetness. Sweetness of Vedanta. And generally, sweet is joyful also. That's why so many lunch or dinner or parties and all that, it has to end with sweetness. They say, madhurena samapayet. We have to conclude that party also with sweetness. So now, as per the tradition set by our great acharyas, first we invoke the grace and blessings of Bhagavan and Sri Guru. It's called Mangala Shlok. It's called a prayer. With their grace and blessing, if you do something, then there is sweetness and there is completion. So first shloka of this text will I lead and then you please follow. Vedanta Vedyam Sri Ramam
Vedanta Vedyam Sri Ramam
Natva Sri Chinmayam Gurum
Natva Sri Chinmayam Gurum
Vakshe Vedanta Madhuryam
Vakshe Vedanta Madhuryam
Lokanandakaram Bhaved.
Lokanandakaram Bhaved.
First, bowing down, Natva to Bhagavan Sri Ram. And who is Sri Ram? In one of the shlokas of Sri Ram Raksha Stotram, he said, Vedanta Vedyo Yajneshaha Purana Purushottamaha. Goswamiji also has said Vedanta Vedyam. So this Sri Ram, whose story we read in Ramayana, so many Ramayanas are written. But that Sri Ram, whose Paramarthik absolute Swarupa is only known through the Vedanta. We'll see what Vedanta is. Vedanta called Upanishads. So, bowing down to that Sri Rama, who is known, realized, or revealed by the Vedanta. Natva Vedanta Vedyam Sri Ramam, and Natva what goes with Sri Chinmayam Gurum, and bowing down to Sri Gurudev. His name is there, Sri Chinmayam. Chaitanya Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa, that actually Guru Swarupa also is known only through Vedanta. That's why one of the shlokas Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tam Agocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmeham. So he said, I bow down to a Sadguru, his name was Govinda Bhagavad Pada. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gochara. At the empirical level, we see a person by that name and the life, work, teaching of that person. But what is the absolute identity? That is known only through this Vedanta. The Natva word goes with both. Having bowed down to Sri Rama and Sri Sadguru. Vedanta Vedyam Sri Ramam Natva Sri Chinmayam Guru. Now when you say Natva means having bowed down, means the sentence is not complete. Having this done namaskar, that means something you have to do, no, further. So, the vakshe, I shall tell. What you are going to tell? Vedanta-Maduryam. Madhurata. Madhurata, Maduryam of Vedanta Shastra. This Vedanta Shastra is Ananda Swarupa. And its sweetness is beautiful and it has to be brought out. And what is your wish? Why do you want to bring out and speak about Vedanta Maduryam? They say, Lokananda Karam Bhavet. The only wish is that may this composition and Lokananda Karaha, it should become joy-giving to all people. So once they listen to it, so if there was some kind of apprehensions or different kind of notions, they should be removed and they should enjoy. That is the idea. Vedanta Vedyam Sri Ramam Natva Sri Chinmayam Gurum Vakshe Vedanta Madhuryam Lokanandakaram Bhavet. Now, having invoked that, it is something that in Vedanta, Shastra Vichar is, there is called Purva Paksha. Purva Paksha means some people present their views against the Siddhanta. And then there is Uttar Paksha, Siddhanta it is. So somebody puts forth a case against Vedanta. So we have to know what are their points first. What do they think? Then only we have to answer and understand. So what are these views? Quite a few are there. They are also interesting only. So the two slokas, next two slokas, second and third, they give some notions which are prevalent. People feel. So the views are given first. Then we will see the answer. So now, second shloka. Shushkam Vedanta Jnanam Hi.
Shushkam Vedanta Jnanam Hi.
Kechit Vadanti Prayashaha.
Kechit Vadanti Prayashaha.
Anye Tat Kathinam Sukshmam.
Anye Tat Kathinam Sukshmam.
Manyante Swavicharataha.
Manyante Swavicharataha.
Nishphalam Jivanesmischa.
Nishphalam Jivanesmischa.
Jnanam Vaparalaukikam.
Jnanam Vaparalaukikam.
Sannyasinam Krute Chasti.
Sannyasinam Krite Chasti.
Vardhakye va pathen naraha.
Vardhakye va pathe naraha.
Shushkam Vedanta Vijnanam. Jnanam hi kechid vadanti. prayashah, generally, kechit, some people, vadanti, they say, this Vedanta jnana is very shushka, very dry. And I remember one story that is in Srimad Bhagavad Mahatmya Purana. There was one Atmadeva Brahmana, and he had no son. And he got so frustrated, and he said, I want to die only. So he went. So then one sannyasi happened to meet him. What is that, why are you so desperate and all that? Then he said, what to do? I'm a grihasthashrami, I do so much and all that, and I don't have a son. Without that, what? Grihasthashrami is not complete, life is not complete. That sannyasi said, you are seeking that, but you don't know the problems and all that. You better take sannyas only. Then that Atmadev said, Putradi sukha hinoyam sannyasaha shushka evahi. He said, this sannyas you are talking about, he said, there is no sukham. Putra, pautra, all that around, how they are in front of you, you see them and all. Great joy, a sannyas. There is no such sukham. Shushka it is. Dry. I don't want to go to a further story and all that because that is not the point. But he said, and his followers are also many. So there are many people who think it is Shushka. Later on, the same Atmadev understood that only Vedanta only is that which is saving grace. So the whole story I don't have to go into. So this is one thing, dry. Because rus nahi hai. So those people, who are very much of that, attached to all such kind of the pleasures, these, that, Vedanta appears very dry. For many reasons and all that. One thing, because in Vedanta, they speak a lot about Vairagya also, Vairagya, dispassion is required and all that. So the very word Vairagya also is quite frightening only to people and all. Vairagya, Tyaga, and such words, sometimes. Because they don't understand the real implication of that. So one person had met me long back. He says he wants to study Vedanta, but he said, don't ask me to give up anything. Or whatever I am just doing, enjoying and all that, that should not be stopped. What can you do? They don't understand what Vairagya also is. And therefore they find shushka, dry. Sant Nyayeshwar Maharaj had given a metaphor, a rupak, of Ganesh Bhagavan as Shabda Shastra and all that. And he said, in Ganesha's hand, that modak is there, modak, that sweet modak. He said that is Vedanta. Therefore, I like that very much. What? Modak? No, what I mean Vedanta. That Vedanta, because he said, Modaka itself means modam karot, that which gives you joy. Acha. So anyways, they say Shushka. Many people are there who think like that. Others say Anyetat Kathinam. Some people are very difficult. There are many expressions say, in Hindi say kuch palle nahi pada. Whether they listen to that or I don't know what they are saying. Someone says it went over my head and all that. And some people are wonderful, They say the talk was so good, so good, so good. How do you know it is so good? Because I didn't understand anything. It was very nice, Very Kathin hai bahut, kathin. Very kathin, very difficult. How Bhakti Marga is so nice, you just stand in the name of God, do puja and all, that's very, but okay. Or Sukshmam, very subtle, The points are so subtle that we are not able to even grasp what it is said there. Manyante. Some people think it is dry, some people think it is difficult, some think it is very subtle. Manyante svavicharataha. And all that is their own thinking, According to their thought, their opinion, they say this. So they think it's all right. Nishphalam jivane asmin jnanam. And some people say, this jnanam, this Vedanta jnana is fruitless, purposeless. Asmin jivane, in our life, Not necessary. Nishphalam. Why do you say nishphalam? Here, I have educated myself. So right from the primary level up to even post-graduation or even doctorate degree, all that, And I could do all that without knowing this Vedanta. There was no need. Then I applied for jobs. Nowhere in the interview they asked, do you know Vedanta? They didn't ask. So without knowing Vedanta also I got job and promotion, increment and whatnot. Everything I got without knowing. And the most important, I got married also. And nobody asked, do you know Vedanta? They didn't ask. So without knowing Vedanta, I got married also. They got children also. And they are also doing they are brilliant, And do you know, people believe in heredity when their children are bright. They believe in heredity. So it is like Vamsha Paramparaya. Okay? So you see, all this happened, And my son wanted to go to America to study, the other wanted to go to Australia. And see, everybody is so well settled. Without all this Vedanta. Very good. So Nishphalam, not necessary. And do you know, when you listen to all these arguments, you also start feeling, I think so. Even some students of Vedanta also start feeling, I think there's some point in it. And some people say, if at all any kind of purpose it is there, paralaukikam, it all these otherworldly, it has nothing to do with this, our present world where we are living in. It's all other world. The heavens and this and that and that. So they don't even know what is Vedanta said about that. In short, there is great ignorance about all these things. And then so many notions are there. Again, why so many notions are there? Because many people observe so many students of Vedanta and all that, and their life and all that. And sometimes it is not very inspiring and all that. So looking at them, they say, Vedanta padne se aisa hi hone wala hai, to what is the use? This man is studying this Vedanta for so long or not. One lady went to one Swami and said, the Gita study and all that is all of no use. Why? What happened? This my husband has been listening to your talks and all that continuously on Gita. There is no change in him at all. The wife is telling to the Swamiji. There is no change. Why? What happened? You know, very short-tempered person. After listening to all that also, his temper is not gone. Angry, angry, angry. It has not made any difference. It's of no use. It's the same amount of anger is there. So the Swamiji also was great. He said the Vedanta has done great thing to him. That status quo is maintained. At least he has not gone worse and there's more temperamental or anything. No, jitna temperature tha, same is maintained. No, even that also because of that only. अब क्या बेचारे स्वामी भी क्या करे? Husband wife fight. So, they feel this knowledge doesn't do any good because they see all this and they were of no use. I were parlaukik, otherworldly. Such criticism is leveled against many Hindus also, They say they are otherworldly people, That's why there is no material prosperity here, this, that, or no. Oh. And another view. Sannyasinam krute jasti. All these Vedanta, those who are sannyasi, not for we grihasthas, you see. It's only for sannyasis. And many of these sannyasis, they are escapists, They got frightened of the problems of grihasthashram, therefore they ran away. And therefore they took sannyas. Many of them are like that. Or if at all that is only for them, not for us. Another view. And one more. Vairagya pathen naraha. And man should study it only in old age. After retirement, when the old age set in, and angam galitam paritam mundam, and then the hand is shaking, and eyes can't see properly, ears can't hear, and on. Tab padna chahiye, because nothing else to do. At least he has some thought that in the old age only we have to study this. And Prahladji, Bhakta Prahlad, is very, very young age, and he told his friends, Kaumare eva acharet pradnyavdi. In very young age you should study this. And if people think Vairagya, you see, I am not against Vedanta, But see, I am a man of time management. So that I have to manage everything. When all this is done, that is done, then in old age, I will do that only, Vedanta only. Vairagya, old age. And in old age, so many kinds of problems are there, Only appointments are with doctors only, not with guru or anything. So they go on and on and on. Right? These views are there or not? Tushkam Vedanta Jnanam hi kechit vadanti tattvata prayashaha अन्ये तत् कठिनं सूक्ष्मं मन्यन्ते स्वविचारतः निष्फलं जीवनेस्मिश्च ज्ञानं वा पारलौकिकं सन्यासिनां कृते चास्ति वार्धक्ये वा पठेन्नरः. Only few points are given here. There are so many other things are there. Those are very learned and studying science and this and that and that, all that. Then there are atheistic views are there, agnostic views are there, scientific views are there, and so many things are there. Only a few here mentioned. Now see, evam bahuvidha santi.
Evam bahuvidha santi.
Vedanta Vishaye Mataha
Vedanta Vishaye Mataha
Nishchayo Tascha Kartavyaha
Nishayo Tasya Kartavyaha
Pramanena Vivekataha.
Pramanena Vivekataha.
Evam, in this way, Bahuvidhaha Mataha Santi. There are variety of opinions and views Vedanta Vishaye about this Vedanta Shastra. Only few are very popular views, these are, that are given. Then if we enter into too much of philosophical discussions, there can be many more also. But these are the very, very commonly known Mataha Vedanta Vishaye. So the question is, what is said, is it true? You must think about it, no? See, sometimes in our own mind only such thoughts can come. Sometimes other people also can put such thoughts in our mind. Everything is possible. And then we get influenced also. And now present day this is called social media. Or a Baba is social media. What all things will come and all that. So that also influences. And therefore it is necessary that we have to find out the truth of this. Therefore, nishchayaha ataha kartavyaha. Kartavya, nishchayaha. So we have to firmly understand. And that nishchaya can be done by pramanena vicharataha. By right thinking, with valid means of knowledge, because there should be evidence. Whenever we think, there should be a basis. Pramana. Pramana means pramayaha karanam. The means of knowledge is called pramana. Authoritative, valid means of knowledge. Otherwise, we can go on doing vichara our own way and all that. Proper vichara is required. Because of ignorance, because of lack of right thinking, because of the superficial world experience and all that, people think like that. But it is necessary that nishchay has to be there. Okay? So now we begin. So in the beginning, the best way of answering all these views are immediately don't say they all are wrong. Because then they don't listen to that. Because people are such, when they are very firm about some view, and if you say, no, it is not like that, they again will argue on that. So therefore, what you have to say is, first this, then more inquiry. So now let us see shloka number 5. Apatato bhati satyam
Apatato bhati satyam
janasyaishavadharana
janasyaishavadharana
swadhyaya sadhanabhyase
swadhyaya sadhanabhyase
mithya siddhyati dharana.
mithya siddhyati dharana.
So here, apatataha. This apatata word is very indeclinable in Sanskrit grammar. Apatataha means instantly, immediately, superficially. As you hear, at that time it appears it is true. In the legal language, there is a prima facie. Anything, accident happens, murder happens, and they say, as immediately you think it can be like this, but then you have to think. See, in the, I don't know why the translation from distress during hard time, this apat word, some should be saying. See, apat, that is called distress. But apatataha is a different word, indeclinable. But apatti kal also, yes, when somebody is going through difficult time and all that, and at that time, Vedanta and all that doesn't appeal to that person at that time all, unless that person is really exposed to that and has understood something. But apatataha means only a superficial view. Apatata vairagyavataha. The one who has got a seemingly dispassion and all that, that vairagya is not true and all that, then the path also becomes very difficult, it appears and all that. So, apatataha bhati. Apata means instantly, only as you hear, and superficially, only if you look at it, then bhati satyam. Janasya esha avadharana. Esha, this avadharana, this kind of conclusion or understanding, views, opinions of people, it appears as real. It is true. I also listen to Vedanta, very difficult, I also saw that person, there is no change in that person, Therefore, nishfal only it is and all that. So, only superficially, only if you look at it, then it appears what they are saying is very true. It is boring, there is no joy, all such kind of thing. But Swadhyaya Sadhana Abhyase Krute word understood, Mithya Siddhyati Dharana. But if some person really serious about it and he does Swadhyaya, Swadhyaya means some study of the scriptures and some does little sadhana also, a very simple kind of sadhana also, then he will find, Arey, this is mithya siddhyati dharana. What is said, all that is not that true. That means Vedanta is not that dry. It is not that kind of difficult that you cannot understand it. Or not that it has no meaning in this life or anything like that. Then you will see that it is mithya. Many years ago, one of our mission centers, one secretary told me many years ago, we have been listening to Vedanta, studying in our study class and this and that, but we don't find any kind of change in us. It appears that it is not doing anything. Then I told him, if it is so, that if you don't find any change and anything like that, do one thing. Stop studying Vedanta. Don't listen to any Swami. Don't invite me also. Stop your study class. No need of any jnana yajna. Nothing. Stop. What is you? Then it is not doing any good. When I said that, he said, no, it is not like that, as compared to what earlier, there is change. And then if you stop it, we don't know what to do that. This is such a wonderful thing. I said, then why you were saying like that? Sometimes they feel that there is no change in them because they have got some kind of ideal of change. That if you start studying Vedanta, immediately you will become like Ramana Maharshi or something like that. Arey Baba, abhi to shuru kiya hai. You join that gym only now and you think you will become Dara Singh or what immediately. So you have to see where you are and from that you have to go. So the idea is when you really seriously study it, because you don't even know. Many people criticize Vedanta even before knowing what it is. They say, Vedanta is of no use. Tell me, after studying Vedanta you are saying this or without studying? Of course without studying. Wow. I remember this Samartha Ramdas Swami has written, Purna Grantha Pahilya Vina, Ugasa Theviso Dushana. So duratma duravyane. But even you have not even seen the whole book also, you have not read also, and before that only you start saying it is meaningless, and that is abhiman only, or foolishness only. But I at least see it. So when you study a little and also do some little sadhana also, then you will find that these all standpoints which are there, superficially may they appear, as very valid, but it is not so. That we have to find out. So therefore now, next shloka onward, we will see what exactly is the Vedanta. That first we have to know it. Because the Vedanta itself is not known to us properly. Therefore, now we'll answer now. Next class. Okay? One by one we'll see what Vedanta is and how these thoughts. Okay? Now let us sing the name of the Lord. That singing the name of the Lord, Bhagwan's blessings come, and then our understanding also will become a little more clear. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Namah Parvati Pataye, Har Har Mahadev. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
दशरथनन्दन सन्त जनरञ्जन दशरथनन्दन सन्त जनरञ्जन माया प्रेरक मुक्ति प्रदायक माया प्रेरक मुक्ति प्रदायक करुणानिधान प्रभु श्री राम करुणानिधान प्रभु श्री राम करुणानिधान प्रभु श्री राम करुणानिधान प्रभु श्री राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय सिया राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय सिया राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय सिया राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय सिया राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय सिया राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय सिया राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय सिया राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय सिया राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय सिया राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय जय राम जय सिया राम रामायण कथा हमको प्यारा प्यारा रामायण कथा सबको प्यारा ओ रामायण कथा हमको प्यारा प्यारा रामायण कथा सबको प्यारा धन्य हो रामायण महात्मा जी को धन्य हो रामायण महात्मा जी को पुत्री से पुत्र बनाया हमारा रामायण कथा सबको प्यारा ओ रामायण कथा हमको प्यारा प्यारा रामायण कथा सबको प्यारा पुत्र का प्रेम दिखलाए पिता पुत्र का प्रेम दिखलाए साक्षी है राम भगवान हमारा रामायण कथा सबको प्यारा ओ रामायण कथा हमको प्यारा प्यारा रामायण कथा सबको प्यारा ओ रामायण कथा हमको प्यारा प्यारा रामायण कथा सबको प्यारा ओ राम मिलन कब होए अंधे सवाला गिरहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंधे सवाला गिरहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंधे सवाला गिरहे देहियारथवा में इंद्रियन चाकिया देहियारथवा में इंद्रियन चाकिया भव के पंथ चले भव के पंथ चले अंधे सवाला गिरहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंधे सवाला गिरहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंधे सवाला गिरहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंधे सवाला गिरहे भजन के भोर भये, भजन के भोर भये, अंधे सवाला गिरहे, हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए, अंधे सवाला गिरहे, हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए, अंधे सवाला गिरहे, हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए, अंधे सवाला गिरहे। जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति तुरीया, जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति तुरीया, जीतो तब राम मिले, ओ जीतो तब राम मिले, अंधे सवाला गिरहे, हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए, अंधे सवाला गिरहे, हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए, अंधे सवाला गिरहे, हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए, अंधे सवाला गिरहे। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, मंगलम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, मंगल भवन मंगल हारी,
Hari Om. Glad you are back. So the Ramayana discourses with Swamiji will be starting shortly. Before that, I have a couple of announcements. So yesterday, hopefully you saw the release of this book of calligraphy on Ramayana, brought out by Pujya Swamiji. And this is done by the resident Swamiji of Chinmaya Mission, Dallas, Fort Worth, Swami Sarveshananda. The original book will be auctioned out, and the auction is online. But you can order these books online as well. So make sure to get your copy by ordering one online, or maybe more for your family and friends. Today's sponsors: Pramukh Yajman Pankaj and Manisha Sundi, Daily Yajman Ram Shankar Subramanian, and morning Aarti sponsors are Anand Bellari and family, Narendra Sagal, Poonam Bharadwaj, Preeti Mehul Sheth, Raja Raman Surya Kumar, Rajiv Das, Sitaram Kauta, Subhadra Vishwanathan. I'll be back with more announcements later in the day. And also, there is one more sponsor for the morning, Ravi Appan. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Sound okay? श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि भरनौ रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायक फल चारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। In listening to the glories of Sri Ram or Bhagwan's Leela, traditionally it is said it gives purification of mind. This term purification of mind means that we get freedom from our own likes, dislikes, our own guilt, regrets, or our anxieties, stress, etc. One wonders how. Yesterday we concluded by saying that we all want happiness and peace. But round us we find in this world that there is constant conflict going on. Even in our families you will notice, even in your institution you will notice, nations are fighting, but you see that there is a conflict going on inside you, even between your likes and your dislikes, between your emotions, bhavana, and intellect, your
ideals as well as your kartavya, your duties. This conflict is constantly there. Should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not? This morning also must be happened, no? Weekend, should I sleep in? And then watch later on? Or should I come here? For some of you, decision is made. I will come here. No? Others, maybe I'll sleep. And then they sleep and then they feel, oh, I missed out on something. And you come here and you might think that I get better sleep here than I get there. No, because there's a saying about, listening to katha. There are shrotas, listeners. There are sarotas, those who keep cutting, they're just to just find faults, and there are other sotas. Yeah? And Guruji used to say that if you have insomnia, then you go and sit in a Ramayana katha and sit and take a backrest. Yeah? Kathas are not meant for sleeping though. They are not also meant for blindly believing, but at the same time, what type of intellect we have to bring to this katha. Thanks to Pujya Gurudev that we know the great depth of the meaning of the Ramayana. People argue, is it historical? It is not mere history, as we said, it is his story. Whose story? Bhagwan's story. Whose story? Of one of the greatest human beings upon earth. His story. And people do not understand that sometimes when we listen to these stories, there are some things that are for our inquiry, and therefore we are stunned. We see something that is impossible and we think this is just a myth. But every myth is what we are aspiring for, is it not? Because what we think is impossible, we call it as myth. Today, even in motivational courses that are there, they will always tell you in the word impossible is the word I am possible. Is it not? So what was considered as myth or science fiction years ago, today, it is something that we aspired for and we attained. Therefore, Gurudev used to say, this is not myth. And this mischief has been played on us. It sounded like a very, very beautiful word. But we have continued it. Parampara. Because there's parampara amongst the wise also, and there is parampara on the other wise also. It is mysticism at its highest. And we will be seeing this Ramayana from all these aspects. When Gurudev asked Guruji Swami Tejavananda to teach the Ramayana in the first course in Siddhabari, Guruji tells us, he told Gurudev, I have studied Vedanta, I don't know the Ramayana. And he said, Gurudev, in such a small, capsule, explain to him how to study and teach the Ramayana. After that, the Ramayana sessions of Pujya Guruji became so popular, so popular. That essence of the Ramayana that he told Guruji and Guruji expounded on Sri Ramcharitmanas according to what he had explained. Therefore, how to study this Ramayana? In fact, in the Ramayana itself is pointed out how we should listen to this Ramayana. It is not to be just seen from movies or novels. It has to be heard from those who know, those who are devoted. And with what mind and intellect we have to listen. Therefore, Goswami Tulsidas ji starts off, really speaking, Ramayana Katha with Shivkatha. We can't go into the details because our time is very, very short. I would love that we would sing it, we would celebrate it. But if you have to cover the entire Ramayana and not just one chapter of the Ramayana, we'll have to go through the story. And luckily, most of you, all of you know the story of the Ramayana. No? But what is the essence behind it? Goswami Tulsidas ji starts off by that in Prayagraj, that is where Triveni, the three rivers, meet. Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. Say Saraswati is underground, she is not seen. And he explains that Rama Bhagati Jaha Sur Sari Dhara, that where Ram Bhakti is the divine river Ganga. And Dharma Prachar is Yamuna. And that Brahma Vidya is Saraswati. And he says that this Prayagraj is Sant Samaj, where satsang takes place. There indeed is this Triveni. There we get another subtle suggestion that whatever is seen outside, can be also experienced inside. These three have been mentioned as the sacred river that meet in Tirath Raj, the king of all pilgrimages, and that is Prayagraj. There also live many, many saints, and today also you find the ashram of Bharadwaj Muni and other munis or saints who lived there, rishis who lived on the banks of the river Ganga or Yamuna or at Triveni. If we want peace in our life, and where there is peace, there is happiness. As in Bhagavad Gita it says, Ashantasya kuta sukham. A rhetorical question that where there is no peace, or person who has no peace, can such a person have happiness? Can you say that I'm very happy but I'm very agitated? Or I'm very peaceful but sad? Peace and happiness, sukha and shanti, happiness and peace, they go hand in hand, just like Sri Ram and Sita. If Sri Ramchandra ji represents happiness, Sita represents peace. So they go together, you can't separate them. This Triveni is where we find happiness. It's tirath, that which purifies us. And as we explained, purity of mind means peace of mind. Why is it that we do not have peace in our life or peace in the world? First of all, our life is dictated by our desires, wants, likes and dislikes, our greed. And when that is there, there can be no peace. Common sense? The moment greed comes in, lust comes in, anger comes in, deceit comes in, guilt comes in, there will be no peace. Selfishness, hatred. So there is no peace in our life because we do not know the art of right living. And that art of right living, to live in accordance with the laws of nature, in harmony with nature, your personal nature and the external nature, is called as Dharma. And the essential part of Dharma is that according to each one's role in life, we have our duties. And yesterday also I said that when we do our duties, what is the benefit of doing your duty is that you master your mind, which is wild because of its likes, dislikes, desires, etc. Then why is there no peace? Because in our life, there is no love. The moment there is love, there is peace or not. Even two people fighting suddenly discover that they are brothers. Typical Bollywood, Tollywood, Collywood movie. From childhood we have been seeing that. I don't have to tell. It keeps on coming. Yeah. Lost in the fair, Nowadays not lost in the fair. Nowadays lost in the multiverse. Yeah. But lost. And then they find. Even 3 Spider-Man, because there were 3 different actors, they find themselves. And I'm not just saying this as a joke. There's something that I have to tell you. Lost and then they are found. Suddenly, how there is love? Because there is, the moment we find some identity with the other, there is love. In the Ramayana, we have number of characters, dharmic and adharmic, loving and selfish. Those who have got knowledge and live their knowledge, and those who have knowledge but they do opposite in life. Knowledge is just to preach others, not for yourself. Therefore, we have as a contrast. Because today we are seeing it only from English language, we call it as good as evil, and then we question about it. It's not good and evil. Ravan was not all evil. It's not between God and devil. That does not exist. In nature, there's a mixture of all the 3 gunas. On one side, you have Ramchandraji. On the other, you have Ravan. As human beings, we have got a choice. As human beings, we've got a choice to choose. good over bad, or bad over good. So these days, being bad is good. There's the songs are also, I am bad, I am bad, I am bad. Being bad is good. And anything that is beautiful, that's wicked. That's the language we use, aren't we not? You don't know that language? Then you're very yesterday. You have to learn their lingo also. So, we have on one side Ramchandraji, on the other side Ravan. Ravan, today many people's ideal is Ravan, no? Because look at him, he was a go-getter. He won over the 3 worlds. He had a kingdom of Lanka. Nobody knows how he got it though. Yeah? He was a Shiva Bhakta. And what did he do from Shiva? Take away Lanka. So bhakti also with which type? That's not bhakti. So we have on one side Ravan, highly educated. People say he was knower of the 4 Vedas. And that's why he's called as Rakshasa. Rakshasa are not demonic people with their teeth popping out and heads coming from here and there like a hydra. Ravan must have been quite handsome. Look at how many wives he had. Yeah. So it's not like they were demonic looking. There were some, jaise Vikruti, vaise Akruti. Even if you are very good looking, but if your mind is agitated, your mind has got wickedness, even the look of your face will be not pleasant. When you're angry, how do you look? The most beautiful of you will look terrible, is it not? So yes, over a period of time, if you keep on being angry, your face will become angry. Therefore, we call them as demonic looking people. But it is not that they were demonic in the sense that teeth coming out, etc. No. Ravan definitely must have had dentist there. So when you see the Ramayana properly or hear about it, on one side we have Ramchandraji who follows Dharma and therefore has conquered his mind. While Ravan, with his power, with his concentration, and he was also a person who did tapas, he has conquered the 3 worlds, but has not conquered his mind, that he sees his entire family, his own sons die, but is not ready to give up his lust. Huh? Therefore, the word Rakshasa, if you switch it around, it becomes Sakshara. So, one with Akshara. Akshara means, alphabets means educated, but behaving like uneducated. Opposite to our knowledge. Ramchandraji lives a life of dharma. He may have conquered the 3 worlds with his power, but Ramchandraji has conquered his mind and therefore becomes the king whose kingdom is still remembered as Ram Rajya, the ideal kingdom. Ramchandraji goes embracing everyone, including the monkeys, the animals, as well as Ravan's own brother. Ravan kicks his own brother out because he is giving him good advice, but against his desire. He kicks his own brother out of the kingdom, while Ramchandraji is during wartime, takes Vibhishan as his friend. Even if you take it as strategy, a leader of society must have proper strategy. Ravan, in his arrogance, kicks his only good advisor in Lanka, who was persistent, and throws him out of his kingdom, while Ramchandraji during wartime accepts him as his friend. Where there is love, there is peace. And for Ramchandraji, he has no distinctions, differences towards anybody. He accepts everyone in his love, and therefore in him there is always that knowledge of oneness. While selfish people, they divide and rule. Therefore, if in our life there is Dharma, there is love, and love for all will be there when there is bhakti, devotion. And why is it that we do not have love for everyone? Because we do not have the knowledge of oneness. Now you see what you get from Gurudev. Dharma, bhakti, jnana. And they are not separated from each other. Without the knowledge of oneness, where can there be love? And without love, where can there be Dharma? Where there is Dharma, there is purity of mind. Where there is purity of mind, there can be knowledge of oneness. And where there is knowledge of oneness, then only there can be love for all. Therefore, in the Ramayana, we find the confluence of Dharma, Bhakti and Jnana. Yamuna, Ganga and Saraswati. And Goswami Tulsidas Ji says, that is satsang. There is an outside Tirath Raj. But when you go to have bath there, outside the periphery on the banks are the ashrams of Rishi, Munis, saints, sages. And whenever we go to a Tirth Yatra, please don't go shopping. It is to have satsang with the holy people there. And those places are tirthas where there are holy people. Otherwise, if it does not remind you of God, doesn't remind you of great people, it doesn't remind or purify your thoughts with noble ideas, then it is not a Tirath Sthan. The story begins with that on the banks of Prayagraj, there is Bharadwaj Muni's ashram. And during the Kumbh Mela, many saints, even now it is a wonder of the world. It's a wonder of the world, a phenomena that has never been seen. Without any organization of any one institution, Millions of people gather there over centuries. While people gather, say in Woodstock, for a rock show, and there is a stampede, for centuries there have been people gathering there in millions, crores. And there's a complete universe as though meeting. Where there are sayings, sages, don't go searching for them. Go there, everywhere there is satsang. And Bharadwaj Muni, ashram, in Bharadwaj Muni's ashram, saints have come there, amongst them one of the greatest of known saints, rishis, Yajnavalkya Rishi comes there. When such saints meet, there is discussion of dharma, bhakti, jnana that goes on. But that which has a beginning will have an end. When Kumbh Mela was over, few more days, Yajnavalkya Rishi stayed there. Finally, it was time for him to go. And see how beautiful even these small, small things of our rishis are there. We don't need invitation to go to our guru's place, ashram place, your children place, or your parents' place. Yajnavalkya Rishi has come to Bharadwaj Muni's ashram. But when it is time to go, you must take permission from the person who has been such a lovely host. And if you tell some person, "Acha, okay, you can go," it'll sound as though, thank God he's going. And someone who has to go, if you tell that person, stay back, that is also not nice. Therefore, we say in our aujo, go and come. Yeah? In different languages we have, Gujaratis particularly will say aujo, come back again. No? But when such saints are there, where satsang is going on, there is bliss. Bharadwaj Muni doesn't want Yajnavalkya ji to go. But how do you stop him? The only way to stop a saint is, without holding him, restricting him, is ask some spiritual question. Yeah? Not political, not virus. Ask some spiritual question. And Bharadwaj Muni goes to Yajnavalkya Rishi and asks this question. It's very important to know this from the very beginning before we enter into the Ramayana. Then I will tell you how Gurudev explained it also. He says, whenever you go, Bharadwaj Muni is a rishi of great caliber himself, guru of many, mantra drashta himself. Yeah? And so is Yajnavalkya ji. But he goes to Yajnavalkya ji and says that, Maharaj, even though you have said so many things, it's not like our question after whole Ramayana is over, who was Ram? But being dull-witted, I have a question. There is one Ram that we hear in the Veda, whose name even Shivji chants, and giving whose name in Kashi gives mukti. And there is also very famous, the son of Dashrath Maharaj, Ramchandra ji. One indicated as Nirgun Nirakar Satchidananda Brahma, and the other a son of man, whose feats are no doubt great. But are they one and the same, or are they different? And for sadhakas, the clarity that our scriptures give, no confusions. Yajnavalkya didn't say, such a great Muni, you are such a guru of so many, and you're asking such a question? Or he says, look, even such a person like Bharadwaj Muni is asking me to give an answer. He says to Bharadwaj Muni, praising him, that you are the knower of the Vedas. Yeah? You know everything, and I know you have even devotion for Ram. But since you have asked me, let me tell you, this is the question that Parvati asked Lord Shiva. That's why there's a story in a story in a story. And that only shows, first of all, the humility of these great gurus. At the same time, the authority of the parampara that it has come down through. And how to ask the question, whom to ask the question. All this is explained in this story before we go to listen to the Ramayana. And from there starts the Shivkatha. That also is very, very, famous, but I will tell very briefly. In fact, if anybody wants to know what is a perfect marriage, and everybody thinks that there are instructions only for women, but if anyone wants to be a good and perfect husband, must listen to the Shivkatha. Must listen. Therefore, every wife, sit along with the husband and listen to Shivkatha. There, he tells the story that one day, Ek baar treta jugamai, Shambhu gaye kumbhaj rishi pai, Sang Sati jag janani bhavani. That Ek baar treta yugamai. These are very important things. Ek baar. It's not once upon a time that is called as Ek baar. As we will go on further, you will understand what's the meaning of Ek baar. Not once upon a time, that in one of the kalpas, in one of the universe, Shivji, who is considered to be, in the world, Valmiki ji is considered to be the person, the Adi Kavi, the first poet to compose the Ramayana. But Shivji was the first composer of the Ramayana. And Shivji hears that Agastya Muni, Shivji is in Kailash, Agastya Muni is in Coimbatore. Not joking. in those mountains there, where our Chinmaya Gardens is and where, our CRS school is there, Shivji leaves Kailash and sang Sati Jagjanani Bhavani. That Sati, who is Jagjanani Bhavani, along with her, he comes to Agastya Muni's ashram. And coming to Agastya Muni's ashram, when Muni sees Shivji has come, Muni worships Bhagwan. When Bhagwan has come, he worships Bhagwan, seats him, But Bhagwan is feeling uneasy because even though he knows, Agastya Muni knows who Shivji is, and Agastya Muni is also devotee as well as disciple of Shivji only. But Shivji is feeling uncomfortable because he has come to listen to the Ramayana from Agastya Muni. So he's come as a listener. He's feeling uneasy, but Jagat Janani Bhavani, Dakshaputri Sati, thinks, what's happened to my husband? Come on. He's the Lord of the universe. Why is he feeling so uneasy that this Rishi is washing his feet? But Shivji comes there and many days pass where Shivji is listening to the Ramayana Katha from Agastya Muni. And such a sight I have seen with my own eyes. Yes, these physical eyes. When Gurudev had told Guruji to speak on the Ramayana in the Siddhbadi camps, that time he was the Acharya of the Brahmachari course there in Siddhbadi. The first camp, when he spoke the Ramayana, it became so popular. It was in the afternoon time, just before noon. Sleepy time. But everybody just loved the Ramayana. The next camp that we had come there, at that time, as Yuva Kendra, we used to come and bring as many people from Hong Kong. And we had done a big show for Gurudev in Hong Kong just before that. And before the session, inauguration of the session, he says, my Hong Kong children will sing. So we were sitting, and Guruji was, that time Brahmachari Vivek, he was playing the harmonium and we were singing. We were on the ground. We didn't realize when Gurudev came and sat behind us. After we finished singing, seeing the time is there, and Gurudev would come right on time. So just when we just stopped singing, suddenly we heard Gurudev was sitting just behind us, and in his roaring voice, he said to Guruji, go up and speak on the Ramayana. Guru's Adesh, whatever it may be, Guruji got up, first only small, and he just got up and he just started going there. And then Gurudev has said, speak on the Ramayana. You can see the nervousness, and he tells one of the brahmachari, bring a chair. There was no chairs also that time, we were all sitting on the ground. Sit on the Vyaspeeth, sit on my seat. It was command by the Guru. Guruji sat there. Gurudev sat on the ground. And you can see the scene. Kumbhaja Rishi, Agastya Muni is known to be, is described even in the Ramayana, short. And Lord Shiva magnificent. We saw that sight. And Guruji spoke on this portion of the Ramayana to start with and said, just as Gurudev is sitting and listening to his disciple, Shivji was listening to Agastya Muni. This is the glory of Ramayana. Na gurur naiva shishyaha. Just see. Therefore, who is the teacher and who is the listener of the Ramayana? Goswami Tulsidas ji says that I am composing this Ramayana in Avadhi Bhasha, not to teach or preach anybody, but Swanta Sukhaya, for my own inner peace and happiness. He says there may be many faults in my speaking on this Ramayana, but there is one beauty in it that overcomes all faults, and that is it has got the name of Ram in it. Therefore, please forgive me if there is any mistakes in my speaking, in my reciting of the Ramayana. And that too also in a colloquial language. Agastya Muni told Shivji this katha. Shivji thought, look, this is Shivji. Shivji thought that what should I give him as dakshina? Shivji also knows that Agastya Muni is not going to think that he is my disciple. He is feeling uneasy that I have heard from Agastya Muni Ramayana. How can I offer him some dakshina? But the rishis wanted Shivji again to stay back. Ramayana Katha is over, Shivji will go away. So he said to Shivji that now that you are here, who other than you can tell me what is Hari Bhakti? And Shivji, and see, when two rishis meet, are they going to give money dakshina? Yeah. Those who have money should give money. They say, you know, I'm just giving my heart. Yeah. First of all, we have to have a heart to give the heart, isn't it? So Shivji gave him the knowledge of Hari Bhakti. Means blessing him with that devotion that should come on listening and speaking on the Ramayana. So having given him that devotion as Guru Dakshina, Shivji departed from there. However, Goswami Tulsidas ji, who is a Maryada Kavi, he says that Daksha Putri left with him. Daksha means our intellect also. Daksha was Prajapati, one of the king of one of the galaxies, not even universe, galaxy. This Daksha Prajapati, daughter is Sati, very devoted to Lord Shiva. But when she was listening to the Ramayana, it appears, like most people listen to the Ramayana, Arey, that story I've already heard so many times. This Shivji story I didn't hear. Now that's good, you know. But otherwise, what is there in the story? She has heard it so many times from Lord Shiva also. So probably she was looking around, looking around that, these brahmacharis in these ashrams are becoming nice and fat. The milk must be very good here, no? Maybe. Or what are these, Rishi Patnis wearing? What are they wearing? All this, must be going on. Because when you are not interested in the Ramayana Katha, it's just a story, what is there in that? So just look around here, there. But she went. And especially there are intellectuals also, who falsely call themselves Vedantic. What is Vedanta? You have to learn from Gurudev. You have to learn from Shankaracharya, who says that to gain this knowledge, the most powerful, sure means is not even Shat Sampati. It is Bhaktireva Gariyasi. That Bhakti alone is supreme. She must have been listening with her intellect like any scholar and trying to find out, is it really this or that, or didn't even listen to the Katha properly. She went with him. That is the time, it was Treta Yuga, and Ravan had just kidnapped Sita. And Ramchandraji weeping, crying, going to every creeper, every tree, seeing the footprints on the ground, rolling on the ground, weeping like an ordinary man, searching for Sita. But funny is this world. What to talk about human beings, even Devatas. When he was crying like this for Sita, weeping away, that is the time Shivji and Sati were going in their Viman, in their open aircraft. And Shivji, seeing Ramchandraji, and Shivji, who is devotee of Ramchandraji, of Bhagwan Vishnu. And don't get afraid, Bhagwan Vishnu is devotee of Shiva. They have no conflict because they are one. Read Bhagavad, read Ramayana, and stop all these divisions. In one side his heart is. Again, these are such beautiful things about devotion. His heart is that rare is to see that formless Lord in a form. That ocean of bliss in the one who delights everyone with happiness. He wants to go and pay his respect to Ramchandraji. But devotee is one who not for his want. I remember how people used to bring food. They used to make with lot of love, understandable. But don't kill someone with love. I made it eat. I made it eat. I made it eat. Arey, but what does he want to eat, please? Or he can eat. Can you imagine? The Lord of the universe is in front of you. Your beloved is in front of you. It's a rare sight. Shivji wants to go, he can't stop his heart. But at the same time, he knows that Ramchandraji has come as a man. And if Shivji comes in front of him to pay his respect, the whole world will find out that this is not a man. At that time, he had taken the role of a man. Therefore, having said this in the beginning, Valmiki ji points out that Bhagwan takes avatar as Sri Ram, but when he narrates the story of Ramayana, you forget that he is God. You just adore him as such a mighty human being. when Bhagwan on one side wants to, but other side his devotion. And devotion is not devoid of intelligence. This is what is called as today emotional intelligence, which cannot be learned from universities. It's not a chemical. It's not electrocution. Emotional intelligence, all our mothers have. And you will see in the Ramayana also the wisdom of all the women. Not learned from books necessarily, but which comes naturally to them, because where there is love, there is intelligence. Intelligence is not learned from books. Information can be gathered. Yeah? Teach the Ramayana and you will learn what is, or you will develop emotional intelligence. Shivji does not go there, but from his aerial view, he just says, Jai Jai Satchidananda, Jai Jai Satchidananda. Now, Sati, Buddhi, intellect, she kind of. She says, Shivji is the Lord of the universe. She respects him. He is the Lord of the universe. Because my husband, inside whatever you may think about your husband, but outside my husband. Yeah. Because that's also a matter of pride. No, in the house you tell your child, I don't know whose genes you have got. You must have got your father's genes. No. But outside, my son. So she also knows that Shivji is great. But he is bowing down to a man. At the same time, Shivji, she knows, is knowledgeable. So doubt comes in when you have both. She knows that Shivji is knowledgeable. He is the Lord of the universe. But how is he bowing down to a man? So she questions him. She can't refrain from questioning. When there's a doubt, you must question. But how you question is important. She questions. There's a questioning to know and there's a questioning to defy. So she asks the question that if he is Satchidananda Brahma, which is formless, timeless, then how come he has taken a form? The same Bharadwaj Muni's question. How has he taken a form? And if he is Lord Vishnu, who else would Shivji bow down to? No? Lord Vishnu. If he is Vishnu, then why is he crying so? No? See, when your husband goes away, you want your husband to tell you, I missed you. But when your sister-in-law's husband cannot stay without her, what type of a person he is? I'm telling you, in this world, you can never satisfy. When a man is crying for a woman, what is he? Why is he such a whatever name? So she says, why is he crying for a woman like this? Shivji tells her that this is that Ramchandraji's, whose story we heard from the Rishi, we heard from the Rishi, and whose bhakti I explained. In short, you didn't hear it, right? But Shivji never says like that. It is that Ram who is my Lord. She hears it, but like many times, okay, we heard it, but I've got my own opinion about it. My faith, my belief. So he told her, he said, do not keep a doubt in your mind. Go find out for yourself. Yeah? And she went to test Ramchandraji. And she is Maya Shakti. And she takes the form of Sita and goes in front of Ramchandraji. Ramchandraji is pining for his wife Sita, and she takes the form of Sita and goes in front of Ramchandraji. To test, is he really God? And when, of course, please understand, this is also Satiji's Leela, please. But this is important to understand why that Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of truth, is very simple, really speaking. But to understand a man of realization, even Krishna finds it difficult to expound fully. What to talk about Bhagwan's avatar as a perfect man. Therefore it says, Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. Hari is Ananta, infinite. His glories, his leelas, his manifestation, and in his manifestation, the magnitude of his expression is also unlimited. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. So Shivji tells her go, but what she goes is to test. No? Not go there, go to Ramchandraji and go near him, find out for herself. She takes the form of Sita. And as she comes close, here Ramchandraji was crying for Sita. Even Lakshman for 1 minute was taken aback. And Ramchandraji just looks at her and says, Mother, for him, Bhavani is mother. No? Mother, why are you roaming around like this alone in the forest without Prabhu, without Shivji, without my father, without your husband? Why are you roaming alone? When she realized that he could see my disguise, she's Maya Shakti, she didn't put makeup and put a mask and come. She just took that form. No? She panicked and she was returning, and when she turned around, what does she see? Ramchandraji, Lakshmanji and Sitaji standing there. Here Ramchandraji is crying for Sita, and here Sita is standing with him. She looks in the front, and there she finds Ram, Sita, Lakshman, along with even Shivji, Brahmaji, everybody, Sanak, Sanad and other. Wherever she looks, because Bhagwan says, my Maya has come to test me. So Bhagwan shows that I am Mayapati. Everywhere she sees is Ramchandra, she comes running back to Shivji. And Shivji says, so has your doubt been removed? Did you test him? And she just said, I just bowed down to him and came. No? She didn't tell him. You see, again, if I go into marriage and what is a perfect marriage, then the Ramayana will be set aside. I'll have to speak on Shiv Vivah. So, he said that. But she just said, I did namaskar and I came. But when Shivji found out that she had taken the form of Sita, remember the heights of devotion, relationship is with a form. She has taken the form of Sita. Not that she has done something wrong and he got angry and she has taken the form of Sita. Now if I take her as a wife, this will be an insult to devotion. At the same time, she has been the most devoted wife. He cannot abandon her. Yeah? But mentally, he did not accept her as a wife and gave her all the respect that she, in a way, deserved, but he could not. And what he did was sit in meditation, like that he used to sit for eons. Then one day, when he came up, came outside his meditation cave, that time, when he was giving satsang, when Sati came near him, he asked her to sit in front, not on the left side where the heart side where the wife sits. She understood, but she did not blame Shivji. She knew that she had done a big mistake. But again, another mistake. And what is that? Her father has been promoted and therefore throws a yajna party. Yeah? Calls everybody, who's who in town is invited, or who all devatas are invited. But Shivji and Sati are not invited. Story is famous that Shivji had not stood up in the court and therefore he got angry and he did not. But again, what a beauty. This is the sign of Bhagwan, this is the side of a devotee. He never told, and this is what a husband should be. Can't get tempted, but I have to tell. Yeah. Because all women tell me about this, men don't, no lessons for men. The whole lesson is for men only. Women don't have to learn from books. They know. And men don't feel bad. It's not that all men don't know. They prayed for a husband like Shivji, they got a husband like Shivji. Yeah? She wanted to go, he said, you've not been invited, don't go. But she went there, and there is where she suddenly realizes how great her husband is, that he never told what had happened with her father. Please don't speak about your in-laws. It hurts. Just like you don't like hearing about your parents from your spouse, same way your spouse also doesn't like hearing again and again, even if their parents are wrong sometimes. Because both are loved. It's so important. And there, Sati said that it is in this body that I, this dry intellect, I doubted my husband, and you, in your arrogance, have insulted my husband. And where can there be Dharma where there is no Shiva? And that's when she cursed all those priests there. And she ended her life. Not jumped into the fire through Yoga Agni. She dropped that form. Then Shivji came there, took her body. He was so much in love with her. He was weeping. She forgot that Shivji was weeping for her. That, as I said, no, you don't mind. But Ramchandra ji weeping for Sita, you mind. And then later on when he, for absolute good gives up something, that also you mind. So if you mind, then mind your own mind. Yeah? And then she was born as Parvati, but the daughter of the Himalayas, and that represents Shraddha. Shraddha is not blind belief which can be shaken any time. That which cannot be shaken by mountains, that Shraddha. And she's born as the daughter of Himalayas. And then she re-asks this question, but with a different attitude, and where Shivji then tells her the whole Ramayana, that how that formless Lord takes up the form and lives as not a Devata, but as a man. And that is where the Ramayana begins. Think about this story, and there is a lot that we get to know, that what is the Ramayana and with what attitude we must listen to the Ramayana. Not question, but how we question. And from whom we are getting this knowledge. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Aarti, no?
Hari Om. If any of you are Aarti sponsors this morning, please come forward.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सिया पी की, गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद, बाल्मीक विज्ञान विशारद, सुख सनकादि शेष अरु सारद, बरनि पवन सुत कीरतिनी की। आरती श्री रामायण जी की, गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश, छहो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस, मुनिजन धन संतन को सरबस, सार अंश सम्मत सब ही की। आरती श्री रामायण जी की, गावत संतत शंभु भवानी, अरुघट संभव मुनि विज्ञानी, व्यास आदि कवि बरज बखानी, काग भुसुंडी गरुड़ के ही की। आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कलिमल हरनि विषय रस फीकी, सुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुबती की, दलन रो भोग भव मूरियमी की, तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की, आरती श्री रामायण जी की, कीरति कलित ललित सिया पी की, आरती श्री रामायण जी की। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।